good afternoon to all my listeners out there in Radio Land. You are listening to Birth of a New Earth. My name is Jeanice Barcelo, and I am your host for this show today. We have a very interesting guest today. His name is Donald Marshall, and he is going to be talking to us about his personal experiences with cloning. I mean, I guess Donald has been on the inside with the Illuminati, and he calls them the Illuminuts because they're totally insane. David Icke calls them the crazies, right? These people are totally crazy. And he is going to be filling us in on his personal experience of being part of these cloning programs. And my producer, Nick Jordan, is on the line with us today, and he's probably going to be participating also, asking questions, and Nick is very enthusiastic about having Donald on the show, so we want to give Nick a chance to ask any questions he wants to have answered. Donald, we're so glad you're here. Are you there?
Hello. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah. Donald, do you want to give my listeners a little bit of anything the ritual?
Well, it wasn't exactly a ritual. They just brought me there, and it's like the cloning center I was at is like... I'm figuring it must be in a nature preserve because I saw the outside and there's just trees. But it's like a small sports venue, like a dog and pony show place. Like it's an oval-shaped place and domed, like a sports venue. But it would only seat about 400, 500 people about. But it's got a concourse and little rooms in the concourse and vending machines, canteen and all that stuff. But it's not a public place. It's like way out of the way. Anyways, yeah, they've been doing this since 1945. They never told anybody. The thing how it started, it was a political thing. All the politicians started congregating there. Then they got bored in these disposable bodies because it loses the novelty really fast. You stab yourself and get into a new body, and jump off of a cliff somewhere and get into a new body. They have a way to turn off pain sensors or amplify them past the normal pain threshold and stuff. They have it pretty figured out. Like, the stuff that they have is way out there. And they're really confident that they're secure because how far out their technology is, if anybody was to talk about it, it would be instantly not believed because it's so advanced. But I'm just spilling it anyway because I hate them so bad. There's nobody that hates them in the world more than me. They mess with me so bad. Terrible. I was like a torture display spectacle for rich and famous people there. The thing was, how it works, it's not on all the time. It's called REM Mark II cloning. Now, all the rich people and celebrities do this. It's like trading in your ability to have a dream or a nightmare at night and just zapping your consciousness into a clone. I'm not sure if a chip is necessary. They tell me I have chips from when I went in to have an appendectomy, have my appendix out. They said they chipped me then. They said they chipped me when I was a little kid, having my tonsils out. Anyways, yeah, it's very plain. You just... when you go enter REM sleep, it takes about an hour and a half to get into REM sleep from when you initially first fall asleep. But then they just press a button on your clone, on a remote at your clone, and you just open your eyes there. Now, all the celebrities do this, and they open up their eyes, walk around, me too, and you sit up, you're a little disoriented at first, but it's kind of like the Avatar movie. But it's based, like the people that did the Avatar movie know all about cloning and stuff. The whole thing is basically based on cloning.
Yeah, that's an interesting point with Avatar. We have a caller, Donald. Caller from 406 area code. Are you there? Hello? Area code 406. Are you there?
Yes, this is me.
Hi, who's me? What's your name?
Hey, this is Christopher Lee. And
do you have a question for Donald?
Yeah, I'm been listening to the show and just kind of tuning in, and would like just can he just chunk it out a little more simpler of what he's really trying to say?
Okay, I can put it down in a nutshell, the basics of it, but then I have to elaborate into details because it's kind of important. Okay, the cloning stuff.
Let me ask you a direct question, and maybe this will make things more clear. So movie stars and other people are having clones made of themselves. I'm assuming these clones are soulless bodies, because I mean I don't know how many bodies one soul can enter. You're saying that they're transferring the consciousness from the original soul into the new body? Is that what you're saying?
That's one way to clone, though. This is the way they do it. It grows in a glass tube with water in it. Britney Spears put them in her video for Break the Ice, where she goes in and destroys a cloning station where they're all growing clones of her. She said it's a fantasy of hers, and they just let her do it. It's a Japanimation cartoon. Anyway, people should take a look at that because that's what the cloning tubes look just like. It's not cloning from a baby. That's replication cloning. This is what they call duplication cloning, where it grows a fully formed duplicate of you within 5 months. And sometimes, well, they grow multiples of you at the same time.
What is the point, Donald? What is the point of growing these multiples of ourselves or the movie stars?
Well, originally it was a communication thing because there's no way to detect this communication. You go to a remote place, have your cloning tubes underneath of the cloning center, and you can come up and talk to people in total secrecy. There's no bugs anywhere. Also, then they got into, now we can bring people here against their will. We can bring celebrities here to hang around, do crazy stuff that you can't do in real life, and we can do taboo things, forbidden things, right? And bring people there against their will, keep them memory repressed, and use them as slaves, and do the most terrible, horrible things to them.
Well, there's also the government thing, too. You can create them. I mean, it's like if something happens to one of them, they've always got their backup.
Yeah, well, that's another aspect to the cloning. There's 4 different kinds of marks for cloning. The original one, it's even on the internet. I was overjoyed when I came to the internet to try to tell people about this because I wasn't into looking at pages or researching what this person, that person said. I came on and I heard that they were already talking about certain marks of clones, and I was like, oh, this is going to be so much easier now. The Mark I original clones they made in 1945, they were called the organic robotoids, and I don't know why they called them that because there's no robotic parts in them unless they had like a chip in the head or in the body or something. Organic robotoids. Some of the Nuremberg guys, those Nazi guys that were killed, and you've seen their bodies after the Nuremberg trials, some of them were organic robotoids. They faked their own death, these Nazi guys, and they got away. And anyway, there's Mark III.
Wow, that's an amazing point. That's a very interesting point.
Yeah, did you ever notice that those Nuremberg guys looked weird, their dead bodies with the eyes bulging out and stuff? That's one of the reasons they don't use Mark I clones anymore, is because they come out all warped looking in the face. Like Mark IIs look basically normal, like the eye wrinkles around your eyes will look different. Like one of the things I used to actually like to do, they used to let me do there, I'd go into the concourse and go to the bathroom at the cloning place and look in the mirror at myself, because your eye wrinkles and stuff are always different. They never come out exactly the same. In fact, they make all kinds of duplicates of you so that when they're all done, if any of them have any warps or like malformations, they can just scrap them and throw them in the chipper. They have like a wood chipper there they throw clones into, and it's just really, really overdone. Like growing a clone, they said costs about $30 in 5 months of time, and these things are like it's really advanced. And
$30. Hey,
yeah, it's just test tubes and stuff. Like it used to be. They say they can do it from a blood sample now within the last 10 years, but before that, what they used to have to do is get either a tissue sample from you or use clones from a woman's pap smear, which is supposed to be rich in the cells needed to clone. Something about a somatic cell transfer, I'm not sure because I wasn't listening there. They tell me a lot of BS there too, right? So I don't want to be there, so I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And I never really like get into much conversations with them. I usually just start attacking people because I keep telling them I don't want to go there. I seen people get killed there and stuff, and they got murder videos there of not even just clones, like real people getting killed, and they watch them there, and people have made me watch them there, and
Wow. Wow.
that's the reason. That's actually the reason why Britney Spears went all wonky, because she's sitting there in the stands at the cloning center watching this stuff. Because the thing is, to be evil there, you get better. You better benefits from the Illuminati. You feel safer because you're evil, like the prime evils that are there, and they'll treat you better because you're more like them. So some of them play evil, and some of them play evil really, really good because they're traumatized. They're stuck there. If they ever try to talk about it, they're going to be killed. It's not good. It's this is the heaviest stuff in the world that I'm telling you about right now. Like,
yeah, it is. It's pretty heavy. We still have a caller on the line, and I'm wondering if the caller has another question to ask, or if you're finished asking the question.
Well, it sounds to me like my impression of this is that this is classic stuff that happened right before the Cosmic Councils ordained that Atlantis was to be destroyed because they were playing God with genetic engineering, and that this is classic, the pits of hell that are worthy of to be no more in the physical octave. And I have to wonder what's coming, with the cataclysm pole shift here over this next year as a function of, Planet X, Nibiru, whatever, flyby. And if this isn't one of the very good reasons why the Cosmic Councils have ordained that there's supposed to be, massive cataclysm here on the Earth. Makes sense to me.
Well, the cataclysm, there's a lot of different stories about what caused the first cataclysm, and some say that the people who were genetically, the entities, let me call them entities, that were genetically modifying our species in the first place, were disgusted by the way that we turned out and how we were behaving, and, made the decision that they were going to eliminate all of us. But then at the last minute they took pity on Noah, because Noah supposedly had some better genetics, and so his family line got to live. So the first cataclysm, the flood, right, may have actually been triggered by the forces that were manipulating genetically. This is definitely a repeat of history. I think that you're exactly right on about that.
Well, but, it gets better.
Tell us, Don.
It gets better. See, this is the cloning aspect of it, but there's many other things that the Freemasons and Illuminati do, and that they showed me. Now, the thing is, the only reason they showed me is because when I went to the cloning station at age 5, I thought that I was in my real body. I thought they were going to kill me. And I seen their faces. I was sure they weren't going to let me leave this place. I didn't know how I'd got there. I thought I'd been, knocked out and brought there. That's the usual guess from people. But anyways...
well, how did you get there, Donald? It was just clone was there?
They grew a copy of me there. You see, when I was 4, I had my foreskin removed because my mother says I had some kind of an infection in my foreskin. So it was removed as a common thing in the hospital, and they used that to make a copy of me. It's what they used.
I want to stress this point because my work is around how they're deliberately traumatizing babies at birth. It's like trauma-based mind control as babies are being born into hospitals. And their body parts and their blood, their cord blood, are being stolen. And apparently foreskins and the blood, could be placental blood from the mother, it could be cord blood from the baby. These things are being used to make clones. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And also, well, okay, it's like a giant pedophile playground, okay? They do not want to be found out. And there's other aspects to this, too, that keeps it secret even harsher. There's part 2 of what I was going to tell you. There's a species of unknown lizard, unknown to the public,